Okay, if you're just joining us, we've been listening to the US President Joe Biden there speaking at the United Nations General Assembly for the fourth and last time. Like many of the other speakers that we've been hearing from this evening, he talked about the tensions in the Middle East. He warned against a full-scale war erupting in Lebanon. He talked about the need to finalize a deal in Gaza and end the war there. Let's go to Marwan Bishara, Al Jazeera senior political analyst. He joins us now from London. So you were listening in to that speech. What did you make of it?
Well, there are three main issues that got my attention. Most importantly, this was a missed opportunity. The U.S. president laid out a vision for the way to move forward, but he seems to be stuck in the Cold War mindset, speaking again and inciting against Russia like it was the Soviet Union and against China as if it was the future Soviet Union. He also spoke about the need for partnerships, but he seemed to be promoting divisive alliances like the Squad and AUKUS and NATO and other things. And last but not least, he said that it's important not to walk it alone, that people need to come together. But it was the United States that was isolated at the UN Security Council and at the United Nations General Assembly when it came to the questions of Palestine, Lebanon, and other important questions in the Middle East. He's strongest when he talks about soft power, about how America can lead on the questions of humanitarian aid or the questions of bringing people together when confronting the future of AI and so on and so forth. There's a very important role for the United States. There's absolutely no doubt about that. But when it came to geopolitical issues, Joe Biden is still stuck in the Cold War. He had 50 years to be able to summarize. But unlike, for example, former President Obama, who at least admitted some mistakes and certain failures and certain lessons learned. Unfortunately, President Biden is nothing like that. He's stuck in the past. He speaks about the future, but he's nowhere there.
From the US president and others in his administration, we hear over and over again that they are doing everything they can, Marwan, to end the escalations in the Middle East. But a lot of it is just rhetoric, as we've seen over the course of the last year. The actions, the weapons that they continue to provide Israel, those continue. Even yesterday, since the escalation in Lebanon, we've heard that the US is sending more troops to the Middle East.
So, yes. So, in fact, it's not just that they are not speaking the truth. It's not that being dishonest. It's not that they are not doing much, if at all, to bring down the tension and bring about a diplomatic solution. Not only that, what's important to underline is how much they are helping the escalation towards war. They continue to support Israel militarily unconditionally. And not only that, they keep sending their armadas to the East Mediterranean in order to protect Israel as it carries its war crimes in Gaza, the West Bank, and in Lebanon, Syria, and elsewhere. This is the problem. It's not that they are not doing much. It's that the United States is blindly following in the footsteps of an Israeli criminal. He is sought after by the International Criminal Court prosecutor. Netanyahu is leading the area to the brink, to a disaster, and the United States is protecting him, shielding him, financing him, and arming him to carry his war crimes.
Marwan, we are now weeks away from the US election. Even if there was a will to do something substantial to try and end what we are seeing in the Middle East, is there anything the US could do at this point?
Well, there are two important things about that. One, it is indispensable for President Biden to do something about it now, because a full-fledged war will mean the end of the chances of the Democrats for another term. I think today Netanyahu can bring down Harris and bring up Trump if he regionalizes this war. That's why it's in every interest of the Biden administration to contain this and to stop Israel from further escalation. Unfortunately, Biden is not learning the lesson. He's been stuck for the past year repeating more of the same failures, and refusing to admit that he's not using the necessary leverage with Israel in order to stop the war. Instead, he continues to arm it, he continues to appease it, and he continues to shield it. And hence, if there is a greater war, if we're going to see more civilians dying in Lebanon, Palestine, and elsewhere, what's going to happen is Harris is going to lose those 2% of a point in the elections. That's going to mean the difference between winning and losing. Because today she's head-to-head with Trump. And if she because of the regionalizing of the war in the Middle East and the incredible loss that's going to be shown on American television and the failures of the Biden-Harris administration to contain yet another crisis like Ukraine, also in the Middle East, this will tip in favor of Trump, who continues to promise magically that he will be able to stop all the wars, whether in Ukraine or Palestine. So it is unfortunate. It's so short-sighted for Biden to allow this to continue, to allow Israel to carry the war crimes it carried yesterday and last week in Lebanon, and continues to carry those war crimes in Gaza.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get latest news from Al Jazeera.